Listen, I know what you're thinking. We are at the top of the world right now in terms of Hello Kitty gaming. We've got Hello Kitty Minecraft, which is basically Stardew Valley Light but with Sanrio characters. And then we of course have the unbelievably top tier Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Very likely the greatest Sanrio related video game we will ever have the blessing of seeing in the lifetime of our planet. Hello Kitty in gaming is the best it's ever been, so let us take a moment and remember some humble beginnings. A world that we all most likely experienced at some point in our lives. Flash games. There is an insane amount of Hello Kitty Flash games, so we're going to have to wade through this ocean of this ocean of fun to find only the highest of quality Hello Kitty Flash games. If you're wondering how I'm going to be playing these Flash games, there is an amazing program called Flashpoint. A wonderful blessing for anyone who wants to play any Flash game they remember from their childhood. When we use Flashpoint and simply search Hello Kitty, obviously we'll have a lot of results. By far the most results come from these dress-up games. There are so many dress-up games. But it makes sense, right? Hello Kitty is for little girls and little girls like to play dress-up. So let's dabble into some of these dress-up games, shall we? First up, we have Cute Hello Kitty Makeover. There isn't much to say about this one. The entire time you're trying to drip out your kitty, you're being blasted by the theme song of Hello Kitty's Paradise on repeat.
It's Kitty, Kitty, Kitty. If you don't know where she lives, you might have missed her and her papa and her mama.
And there's Minnie. She's my sister.
Don't get me wrong, it's a bop, but I don't want to hear it 17 times on a 1-minute loop. The rest of the game is the most absolutely basic of basic dress-up games. You have different categories to choose from with about 5 options per category. The only good things about this game is that for some reason the whiskers are called mustache, and I was able to create this rizzed up thug kitty. I wanted to try another dress up game, but something that actually looked fun. After a bit of scrolling, I managed to find this one, Hello Kitty Wedding Spa Makeover. What does that even mean? Is there a spa at the wedding? Why are you getting a makeover at a wedding? Are we getting a makeover for the wedding? Wait, who the hell is getting married? Anyway, let's get into this and see if we can't decipher what's happening as we also do some dressing up. Off the get-go, you're hit with this cursed child moving a logo back and forth with the back of her hand. I feel like this doesn't bode well for the quality of the actual game. Immediately when you start, you have great value Hello Kitty staring you down, and for some bizarre reason, she seems to have some giant chunks missing from her feet. The gameplay, on the other hand, is actually slightly relaxing. All you really do is slap things on her face as it tells you to, but it's more serene than expected. You lather her face in some kind of mud, pour large amounts of water on her muddy face, and then pluck her eyebrows. This certainly wouldn't be bad for little kids back in like 2006 or whenever this was created. After you finish the spa treatment, you get to dress her up with a few options of makeup, necklaces, hair accessories, and that kind of stuff. All around, it's not as boring as the first game, but it's certainly not what I would call fun. Oh yeah, and at the end of the game, you press a button called Show, and you get a view of your beautifully created kitty alongside another cat, who is dressed like Darth Vader? Why is he dressed like Darth Vader? Is he going to get married in a Vader costume? I just don't know. Let's move on before this rabbit hole gets deeper. Our next category of games will be actually licensed games. That means either Sanrio made the game, or someone had Sanrio's permission to make the game. And there's no better way to wipe out the taste of those dreadful dress-up games than with some Tetris. That's right, Sanrio Tetris actually existed, and it's a banger. Not really so much because of the Sanrio crossover, but more so just due to the fact that Tetris is really fun. Actually, the only real additions to the game to make it Sanriofied is the border around the game and the bumpin' music. Besides that, it is just 100% some good old Tetris. Still great though. Next up is a game created by Sanrio themselves, and it doesn't actually focus on Hello Kitty. Now we're getting involved with Pochacco in Hello Kitty Pochacco's Bank. This game is very, very simple. All you have to do is press the button that corresponds with each currency the correct amount of times for each stage. So for instance, you press left arrow for coins, down arrow for green dollars, and right arrow for red dollars. You press them a number of times to correspond with how many of the currency are in that section. I think they were going for a way to help kids count, but you don't really even need to count. Just click the button enough times until all the currency is lit up. Nonetheless, it's definitely not horrible, just a really simple minigame. Hello Kitty Bees in My Garden is our next game, and it looks like it has some promise. The thumbnail makes it look like a puzzle game of some sort, and I do love me a good puzzler. Loading it up, we're off to a good start. It's probably the most clean looking title screen of all the games thus far. The gameplay consists of using the arrow keys to move Kitty around. It's less of a puzzle game and more of a dodge the enemies game. I remember these being really popular for Flash games back in the day. All the visuals are clearly just PNGs slapped onto the world, and the hitboxes are really terrible. You can hit a bee from miles away and then it's back to the start of the level. If you run out of all your lives, you're pushed back to the start of the entire game. Your objective is to grab all your mail and head back to the house without getting stung. There are 8 levels in total, and they actually get quite tough. I had a few goes before I eventually managed to clear the whole game. After each level, you get smacked with this ugly Comic Sans font to go to the next level, and it tends to kind of pull you out of the pleasant aesthetic that the game tries to have. All around, not too bad. I could definitely have played this as a kid and would have been more than happy. But now, things are going to get weird. We're going to a dark, dark place with Hello Kitty. We've had our fun with generic dress-up games and official games. Now I want to experience the cursed games. I don't actually know why these exist, but they do. I'm talking about Hello Kitty Foot Doctor, Hello Kitty Perfect Teeth, Hello Kitty at the Doctor, Hello Kitty Tonsil Surgery, and the scariest of all, Hello Kitty Bicycle Accident. This isn't even a joke either. These games legitimately exist, and I'm going to have the regrettable task of playing a few. Let's try and start out with something easy first, with some Hello Kitty Perfect Teeth. Once again, right when starting the game, we're bombarded with the Hello Kitty Paradise theme as we see this poor Hello Kitty on the side of the screen with the worst set of teeth imaginable. It looks like she spent the last 6 years only brushing with Nutella and using Coca-Cola for mouthwash. This is already so cursed, and we haven't even started. The gameplay itself is another one of these just sorta nothing games. You have all these tools to help with different teeth problems, but if you want, you can just start yanking teeth out at your leisure. Nothing is stopping you from quickly pulling out all her teeth then replacing them with new ones, so all the tools kind of become useless. Weirdly enough, they give you different teeth options, so you can finally make your dream crackhead Hello Kitty. Sadly, the next game I'm going to have to suffer through is Hello Kitty Tonsil Surgery. The screenshot for this game looks downright heinous, and every fiber of my being wants nothing to do with this. If we get more of the Hello Kitty Paradise theme while I have to chop out Kitty's tonsils, I may go psychotic. Immediately, the main menu is horrifying. Kitty is crying for someone to put her out of her misery, and her mouth looks like alien life can be found within. When you start the game, you actually have 3 levels, or stages I guess. The first stage is about you calming Kitty down by wiping her tears and then drugging her so she'll be out when you inevitably start going to town on her tonsils. Gameplay is the same old grab an item and bring it to her face, but it does actually feel polished and more interactive than the last cursed game. After you get Kitty woozy, it's on to stage 2, surgery. I like that Kitty's mouth is completely fine, but once you pop that Dollar General $2 flashlight into her mouth, it unveils the origins of COVID. You go through all your tools to clean up the mountain of gunk in her mouth and throat, and of course you have to chop those tonsils out. This is disgusting. You grab a hold of those suckers with some scissor grabbers and just lop them off. Then you delicately set them down on your mom's favorite fine china. Once Kitty's mouth has been thoroughly power washed, you can go to the last stage where you get to play dress up, of course. I can't even hate on this game that much. Besides Tetris, it's certainly the most polished and looks and plays well. I just think you sorta have to be deranged to want to play a game where you cut Hello Kitty's tonsils out. Now it all comes down to it. Our final Flash game. Hello Kitty Bicycle Accident. This game is like the next gen of the deranged, damaged Hello Kitty games. No longer do we jump right into the disgusting parts of tending to a malnourished kitty. No, now we get to witness the events that transpired. A cutscene plays with Kitty slowly tumbling over and we get a wall of poetically written text. When the Hello Kitty was riding the bicycle, she accidentally fell down and got injured. The mom of the girl cries bitterly seeing the pathetic condition of her beloved daughter. Only you can comfort the family by treating the poor helpless girl. Wipe off the blood using the cotton and apply medicine. At the end, bandage the wounds. If you see a big wound, stitch it and apply medicine on it for speedy recovery. Now Hello Kitty is happy with the way you treated her. Now we must tend to the, quote, pathetic condition of poor Kitty. And just look at this. Look at the state of Kitty. She fell over on the street. Where do all of these slivers come from? And her entire ear is coming off. How do you lose a damn ear in a bicycle accident? On top of that, I can guarantee you this is not Hello Kitty. Look at her face. They gave us Goodbye Cat instead. You go through this familiar process of pulling things out of poor Kitty, then patching her up. Then you force strange medicines into her mouth and she's all fixed up. You've mended an entire cut-off ear with some stitches and miracle medicine. And it of course wouldn't be a Hello Kitty Flash game if it didn't end with you dressing her up somehow. And finally, we're done. What a strange journey. We started off lighthearted and fun, even got to play a bit of Tetris, and then we were overwhelmingly cursed at the end. Most of these games were just your classic Flash game fare, but we did actually have a few good ones. Tetris was great and the Pochacco game wasn't terrible, but weirdly the tonsil surgery game was really well polished even if it was disgustingly horrifying. That wraps it all up though. As always, thanks for watching the video, and hey, if you enjoyed it, a like and subscription help out a ton, plus they're free. So long.